Boom, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy CNI. Welcome back to another episode of Rap Upz, episode number 7. I am here with your boy, the Peruvian Plug.
What it do?
What's going on with you, man? How's your week go?
Unfortunately, uneventful.
Well, there's always some shit popping off in the news. Let's get into it. Blueface facing 3 years. What's up with these new niggas in here now, man? It's like you get on, you get money.
Then you want to take a gun to the airport.
Guess what, guys? Hire fucking security. You don't need to be personally strapped up anymore. It should be factored into your financial situation, okay? Because you're right. You're right to want to have the protect yourself. You wearing 100,000 plus worth of jewelry, niggas is gonna be out here plotting. They gonna want to take what you got. If they catch you slipping, they gonna get you. You know what I'm saying? But you're not perceived to be any less of a real nigga or a gangster, whatever the fuck, if you hire a security detail. Okay. I mean, 50 Cent did it when he first came out. Remember when he came out to San Francisco? And he wouldn't even get out of the car. Like, he saw me niggas was out here. He was like, fuck that shit. And he pulled off. Kanye West, same thing. He was supposed to perform at 550 Barnerville. I was outside when his truck pulled up for when he first came out. And he fucking pulled off. He like saw the niggas outside. He was like, fuck this shit. And pulled off. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you got to be smart about your situation. Like, if you're out here, you getting money, man, congratulations, homie. Seriously. It's not a whole lot of people that make it in that way, you know, that come up and make a big success out of themselves. So be smart about it. I pray that you get off with just probation. And I think, you know, you're surrounded by the right people. You'll get the right legal representation to where they'll be able to get you off on this charge. But just be smart going forward. Like, don't fucking take chances carrying straps and shit. You know what I'm saying? Have niggas from your hood that don't have felonies, get them fucking carry concealed weapon license so that they can be around you and they got the strap. And give one of them 2 guns. So in the event that you got to fucking bust back, that nigga got your gun. You know what I'm saying? Don't fucking be hanging out. Oh, I'm kicking it with these niggas, and then the fucking police show up and you want to throw your burner away.
Man.
Fucking, yeah. Drake re-released So Far Gone this past week. Interesting thing about that. The fucking Twitter tirade that Kanye West went off on about a couple months ago, where he's like, Drake hit me up, said he wants to clear a sample. I'm like, no, unless you call me. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
And then he's like, just talk to Drake. Don't threaten me. And all this shit. Sample not cleared. Right? And I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? And then I was like, why the fuck would Drake want to clear a sample from Kanye West?
He was making like a diss track and he wanted to sample his own shit.
He did a song on So Far Gone over one of Kanye's beats, the Barry Bonds beat. And he wanted to release the song. And fucking Kanye was like, fuck you, you're not releasing shit. You know, so be real about who you are. And if a beef doesn't make sense, just squash that shit. Because a perceived, you know what it is?
I feel like Drake is, you're seeing somebody right now who is really feeling themselves.
Oh, totally.
You know what I mean? Like, I think he thinks, in the way he talks and he acts, like he's fucking untouchable, you know?
Yeah. You see the Mob James interview on Vlad TV? Somebody who worked in close proximity with the death row camp. He was the one who grew up with Suge and brought the Mob Piru Bloods to death row. He was an actual Mob Piru blood. And, you know, Suge wanted that type of protection. He wanted neighborhood protection. He also had off-duty police officers working for him. And so he just kind of like talks about like everything that went on at death row and like how his brother ended up like losing his life. And, you know, a lot of, like, he said like 11 to 14 of his homeboys that he grew up with lost their lives as a result of all the bullshit that happened around death row. You know, from like fucking
I don't doubt it.
the dumbass shit that Suge did to the fucking the Orlando Anderson thing, like really pushed it over the edge because, you know, I mean, it was Mob Piru versus Southside, and Puffy was really smart to, you know, hire the enemy of his enemy to be a security detail, and everything that ensued after that. You know, I don't know how much. I mean, I think that, you know, I think Puff has some accountability in this, not as much as Suge, because I think like Suge was trying to like extort his way through the industry when he didn't need to. He has so many talented artists, you know, and I think it's just like ego and pride. But Mob James talked about like how, like, you know, Suge didn't talk that way around him and the real niggas that were from the Pyrus. You know, he just pulled that shit on the people that he could extort. You know what I'm saying? Interesting interview. Shout out to Mob James. Sad incident, you know, about him losing his brother and all his loved ones like that. But I think it's interesting that, you know, at least people are like, even if they're just like randomly like stumbling across it, it's like it lets me know like with consistency this will grow, and eventually it will get bigger, and we will get the kind of, you know, platform that will be able to, you know, interview other artists and shit. You know, the initial reason,
there's a lot of bullshit out there. You can't just let anybody out. You know,
tons.
I remember, I don't do this like anymore, but like closer to 10 years ago, or closer to the time that we did it, well, the shit that we did, you know,
yeah,
like my shit and your shit back then,
Hustle and Money and Stacks.
Anytime I play that for people, you know, just like random people are like, oh, I'm an artist too, and I'd be like, well, listen to this, you know, and it was just like 10 times better than what they got. And now they're barking up my tree, and it's like, that's not what I intended to happen. Like, and then I just over time realized that like our shit was way ahead of a lot of fucking shit. So it was like,
nigga, you have the Bay Dr. Dre producing your shit.
Yeah, so
nigga.
it got to a point where it's like I wouldn't even mention that I've dabbled in music or anything like that. But
yeah, I mean, you know, it's like when I was like young and like producing as much as I was like back then, it's like the internet wasn't a thing. So
I know it's different.
You know, it's and now it's such a thing that everybody's doing it, and like to compete in this space now is like you need constant content, like we were talking about earlier,
right?
And you gotta have the fire track, so like when they do listen, they don't feel like it's a waste of time to listen to like your new shit that comes out. You know, I think that's another episode. Another thing that we should add to this podcast is like kind of like giving advice. To instead of just talking about like headlines and shit, we should kind of like say, you know, this is what, you know, you should do as an up and coming artist. You know what I mean? Like polish your craft, make sure your shit is dope before you like try to go out here.
Well,
and
I mean, you could speak on that a little more because, you know,
right. The fucking entanglement though of like dealing with sample clearances.
Well, fuck it, dude.
Nauseating.
Fuck that.
That's why, you know, honestly, that's why I stopped sampling.
That's gotta be, that has to be like, there's gotta be a better, easier way to do that.
They should streamline the process a little bit. I mean, even if like you as the artist like give up, you know, a big chunk of your publishing rights or whatever, it's like if you got a dope song that uses a sample, you shouldn't be like discouraged from putting it out and sharing it with the world. You know, like Juice WRLD just got hit with that big lawsuit from Sting because he, like, the producer essentially interpolated Shape of My Heart. You know, that fucking, the one that Nas used too, you know, that beat. And like, he's like lost all his publishing on it. And it's his biggest record. You know what I'm saying? Might be the biggest record he ever makes. And it's like, when you lose all your publishing rights, like that's all your fucking money. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that that's right either. You know, I think as an artist, like you have the right to protect your shit and be like, yo, I made this and I don't want people, you know, using it freely or whatever, but at the same time, if somebody comes out and makes a hit song, like, it should be kind of a negotiation as far as like a split. It shouldn't just be like, oh, well, they used it without my permission, so I get all the publishing. It's like, that's bullshit.
Right. That doesn't.
It's fucked up. Now, I think that if you're smart about it as an artist, you'll do it like Frank Ocean did. Because when he first came out, he had released his mixtape Nostalgia Ultra, and he was signed to Def Jam, and essentially they shelved him, and they didn't give him, you know, any indication as to when they were going to release any of his music, if ever. And so instead, what he did was he just fucking released a mixtape full of samples. Like, he sampled like the Eagles, like Hotel California. He made a whole brand new song over it and shit like that. And it came out fucking dope. He never had any intention of making any money off of it. He just wanted to show a body of work that he could create over these sampled songs that would really impress the public, which is exactly what they did. And then once Def Jam got wind of how popular that tape had become, and in return him as well, then they were like, oh, yes, we would love to put out your album, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I think that there are advantageous situations where that could work to your benefit, but you just can't like release sampled or interpolated material without expecting to get hit with a copyright. You know what I'm saying? So, you know,
it's tough.
Just gotta be smart about how you use it, you know. And if you are gonna release that way, have a backup beat ready to go too, so that, you know, you release one white label, meaning you don't care if you get paid off of it, and another, like the real one that you're going to sell on iTunes. You know what I'm saying?
Why wouldn't you just release several white label songs?
You could.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So just do that for a while, and just the fan base that you build from that.
Exactly.
And then you carry on like you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's smart.
So, like, why don't you do that?
I've thought about it, but you know what? Because it takes as much creativity to make that.
And see, you can't just like never would I advise that you just rip off a beat, like just like copy and paste and rap on it.
Right.
Like, come on. The sample we talked about earlier is like it's just a line out of this song and a line out of this song and like a line out of this song.
It's still creative.
That's what I mean.
Right.
You gotta fucking lace them all.
Right. Yeah.
And just like you did the R. Kelly song.
I'm not gonna hold on to your love. Yeah.
I love that. I swear, I feel like when I listen to those, when I listen to the real song,
Yeah.
I have to hear your song right after it. And I literally, that's how I play them. Like, I'll play one right after the other.
That's a huge compliment, actually. Thank you.
It's sick.
Yeah.
You really
Thank you.
You really flipped that one. That was really, really good. It's one of my favorite songs.
It's like, I think what you're saying makes a lot of sense. It's like, you know, if you have the ability to
creatively sample somebody,
right,
then fucking do it.
Right.
And just the way that you do it is going to separate, you know, from the next guy that's trying to sample. You know, he's not going to know how to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, whatever you do is going to be dope.
We'll see. I might do that. I'm not going to rule anything out at this point. But or
maybe you could just make a couple of white label tracks per album that you're going to drop.
But the problem is that, like, YouTube's all on your shit now. It's like you release that shit on YouTube and they pull it instantly.
It's weird how they do that, but there's a way around that.
Maybe. Fucking, I do have a new album finished, though. Want to kind of announce that shit while we're talking. I don't want to give the name of the album yet, because I it's coming soon, but I just don't want a nigga to like fucking steal it. Like, oh, listen to this, be like, oh yeah, that's a great name for an album. I'm coming out with one next week. I'm gonna take that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna hold off because the artwork's done. 5-track EP, all party shit, all ratchet shit.
Can't wait to hear it, man.
It's the best like party music that I've ever made. Like, I actually like spent time like investing in like how can I get the the best impact from a small project, and that is essentially the destination that I decided upon.
It's genius.
I'm telling you, bro.
I see it. I know. Wait
till you hear the rest of the shit and how it all fits together. You're gonna be like, God damn it, CNI was on one when he did this shit, nigga. It's about to be, and I've got my marketing and my promotion down too, and that is something that I've never had before. That was always an element that was missing. I never knew, like, how am I going to get this music in front of people? You know, it was like I was lost. And that's why I depended so much on other people. No names, but I depended on other people to, like, do that for me, handle that aspect of the business. And now I know exactly what to do. And we're going to share that more as time goes on. I'll be revealing to you guys how I rolled the album out. We're going to do some behind the scenes footage of how I mix certain tracks and a ton of content so you guys that are artists can look in on somebody who's been doing this for 2 decades now and learn from what I've done, all the mistakes that I've made and all the things that I've learned along the way. I want the up-and-coming artists to be able to benefit from, so they can look in and not have to make the same mistakes and be like, yo, CNI put me up on straight game.
Well, yeah, if you're going to spit some facts, then people that really know what you're talking about are going to gravitate towards that because they're going to know the struggle they fucking have had, you know, using whatever program you're showing them how to use,
right?
Whatever fucking equipment,
right?
So,
yeah, I think the rest of this year is going to be very interesting as far as like the traffic that I get on YouTube and my website and the music and everything and the numbers of this podcast are going to go up steadily, and it's going to be a real interesting ride. Like I was telling my wife the other day, I said, you know, last time we were in Vegas, like we had, you know, the Fountain View room in the Bellagio, and it was fucking so sick to wake up to that shit and see like the fountain go off, because you know it's Vegas, so you don't fucking get into your room until like 4 o'clock at night anyway, you know. And by the time you wake up it's like noon and shit, you're ready to like saunter down and fucking get something from the buffet or whatever, you know. But right across from the Bellagio is Club Dre's or Club Dries, you know, Dre's. And, you know, on the fucking electronic billboard sign out front, it said 2 Chainz performing tomorrow night and Ray Shrimmer performing the night after.
Yeah, they're house residents. You know. And I just remember looking out and like not thinking, not just feeling, but knowing that my name was going to be on that billboard. Like I'm going to make sure that I get a residency out there, and we're going to be fucking at a club,
at a club in Vegas, and we're going to be out there fucking partying it up, nigga. You know what I'm saying? On the strip, living it big.
On the house.
Fucking stack of chips, go down and fucking put it all on black, nigga. Always on black.
Once you learn how to play craps, though, you won't play nothing else.
I believe that.
Trust me.
If not by the end of this year, early next year, we're gonna be doing big shit in Vegas. A lot of shows.
At least expanding the brand.
Exactly.
You know? Pushing the brand out there, dude. You gotta push the brand.
Definitely.
Wrap ups.
So I think that's gonna do it for this episode of Rap Upz. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. If this is your first time here, you know what you need to do? You gotta click that subscribe button. That's how you can stay up to date on all the new episodes that are coming out. Click that bell if you're watching this shit on YouTube. If you're watching this on any other platform, stay tuned. This comes out every week with your boy CNI and the Peruvian Plug.
Y'all take it easy.
See y'all next time right here on Rap Upz.
Yeah.